All right, we are in Tennessee, and Wyatt let me stay with him last night. We're going to go camping tomorrow, but this is Wyatt's place. I told him I wanted to do a walk around because to me it is the ultimate garage, and then we're going to take a look at his Jeep that he set up for overlanding. So I'm going to let Wyatt take it from here and kind of show us around this amazing place.
So welcome everybody. WyattOneAble Garage is my channel name. That's what I start with. I always welcome you into my shop, and I'll start here with this addition we did after I built the garage. We bought a tractor and now we got hay storage. We've turned to quite the farmer here, but this was kind of an extension after the thought. But when this section here was the outside of the garage, I wanted to make it look like a marathon station in this case, because that's what was available. So you have a men's bathroom, a woman's bathroom, which that end is the mechanical room that I'll bring into what I call my Harley shop. So I call this my Harley shop because my Harley used to be in here where I did the work on the Harley, but I haven't ridden it in 5 years, so I don't work on it anymore. We sold a camper we have. Our house is very small, so now this becomes our guest room. And it's my office and kind of my man cave. Very comfortable with the microwave, coffee maker. I got a refrigerator, a full bath. And it's still a Harley room if you think about it, because everything's covered in Harleys. When my wife and I used to ride. But I'll let Joel, can I use your name?
Yeah.
Sneak into the bathroom there. I was born in '57, so everything in there is, again, a gas station type motif. And he's got to sign the wall for me before he leaves.
I actually already did.
Oh, okay.
So I'll show right there is where I signed it.
Oh, very cool. Thank you.
And then he's got his Matchbox collection here. He's got the steampunk design, which is really neat. He's got a pressure gauge there, and then his lighting. And then behind him, for his towel holder, he did this whole setup. So he's got the little feet here for towels, and then some cool equipment back here, along with some tins. But very cool 1957 style bathroom. I like it a lot.
And then from our man cave, we'll go out into the main shop. So if you'll come out this way, Joel, and do a 180. So this now is my Harley work area. Bike is waiting on a battery so I can get that going. But like I said, I moved everything out from there to make it a guest room / hangout. And now this is kind of the Harley wall. The sign Wyatt-Willie was a joke for a friend of mine whose name was Willie, and he's got a Harley Davidson shop in Germany. So I made that for him as kind of a joke, but it fits there, so I'm going to leave it.
It looks awesome. Nice, cool storefront design.
Yeah. Oh, it actually came from the town I live in. There's a lot of storefronts with that squareness kind of stuff, so that came from the idea of where I live.
And I noticed the whole garage is insulated even.
Yeah.
It's got all the...
I tell you, as YouTubers, what I did before I built the garage, I went on YouTube. And I asked questions, and everybody said go as big as you can afford and insulate it, because you'll never have a chance to go back if you don't do it. It was expensive, but like they said, once you cry once and it's done, you're so glad it's done. Because when it rains, it's quiet. It's, of course, I have it air conditioned and heated in here, which is a luxury, but I can do it because it's insulated. I won't take you in here, but this is storage. Basic camping gear, food supplies, toilet paper, which was a very big commodity, but it is aired and air conditioned or heated so that it can, I can put food products in there. I am still a bit of a prepper. This is my fabrication corner.
I love the organization, being an OCD person. I mean, even the little baby food jars all lined up here. Everything you can see, nothing's behind anything else. This is awe-inspiring to me. I love
when
this.
I built the garage, I built it because my hobby is working on cars. But what happened over the years is I have realized that the garage is my hobby. So I'll spend more time working on the garage than I do a car, because I'll see something and I'm thinking, this area could be better. So I'm constantly changing. And I was telling Joe, I actually did a tour in German, and none of this stuff was here. It was not finished yet.
But I like you even got a little lathe there. And
yeah. A little China cheapy lathe, but it, it works.
drill presses.
I can And this is bolted to the floor. It took me 2 years to decide where this goes, but this is it. It's not moving now.
Nice Wilton vise. I
Yeah.
like that.
I love my vices.
Got his. He's telling me he got this for points from a corporate credit card that he was using. So nice Milwaukee toolbox. That's awesome. I love that. Even the hose clamp organization thing is really neat.
And then I get a lot of comments on, you know, must be nice to have a lift, and yes, it is. I'm a disabled vet. I couldn't do a lot of work on my cars if I didn't have the lift. And they're not that expensive, folks. It's just sometimes you don't have a place to put them. So if you really want one, you can save up and get one if you have a place to put it. Our local Sears store closed down, and this is about a $300 unit that I got for $100 because they were closing out. I get people laughing that come here and visit because this is my wash station. I'm into everything automotive, including detailing, and there's YouTube channels that, you know, get into this, so everything is separated. And
You got a ringer on there. And
yeah, you don't want to wash a car and rinse it out, get it dirty, so you put your dirty rags on that side and then go back to the clean water. Just small things like that.
And his vet, he was telling me about you last night.
Yeah, it's an 05 that people mistake for a brand new car because it's in really good shape. I found that a couple hours from here. There's the old wheels from it I still need to sell. Upstairs is just more storage and stuff I can keep out of the way that I don't use day to day.
And then
This
even-
wall here is kind of my home, like, repair area, and this shelf has become my Jeep prep, all my extra parts, my recovery bag. This is a part from the front, and then of course getting into my lawn maintenance and all that. But yeah, it was a long time coming. I spent a lot of years planning it, and then I was just telling Joe when it came down to building it, I didn't have one plan. It all just came from my head and kind of knew what I wanted.
That is just amazing.
You know, think about things.
Yeah.
A drain, it helps a lot. I can wash my cars in the winter. I got a hose in the corner that's inside. So it was nice to be able to think about things like that and make it kind of special that fits me. So that's that. It's a 30 by 60, by the way, as big as I could afford. But we'll go from here and take a look at the Jeep.
Well, let's take a look at the gas station first.
Oh, okay. It's a working gas station.
You said, I don't know if you heard that or not, it's working. So you always see these sitting around, but they're never working.
I'll let him bring the camera in the inside and see how it... Now, it is a little bit of work because I have to refill it by my 5-gallon cans and stuff. So once those tanks are full up there, I move the switch to the outside here. You turn on a pump, and this is a nozzle like any other gas station. It's an automatic shut-off, so you can fill up your vehicles and stuff. In fact, I'll probably fill up Joe's Jeeps and mine before we go camping. So we got fresh gas, and I keep it rotated. It's kind of the prepper in me. I got about 100 gallons. In fact, that's full of fuel that I keep rotated. It is a little bit of work, but you know, very handy, especially when you're kind of stuck up here in the wilderness as we are. This shop here is my wood shop. And this became necessary because I got tired of doing woodwork and trashing everything in the garage. So I was blessed enough to have, you know, space for this.
Oh man, this is awesome.
I can just keep it dirty in here. I don't,
Yeah, that is a great idea to have it all separate and you know the dust all over. That's my problem is if I want to do something in my shop, then I've got dust everywhere.
This
Even got great wood storage. It's all laid out so you can see it. And
yeah, it was a blessing.
bandsaw, table saw, miter saw. That's great.
And then my wife's from Bavaria, so of course I get the German flag. But it's nice to have that space because I don't have to worry about keeping it clean, and I can come out here and cut a piece of wood that doesn't get all the cars dirty.
All right, so this is his 1987 Jeep Cherokee XJ that he is just recently bought not that long ago, right?
About 6 months ago.
Yeah, and he is going to take a 1-month trip out to Oregon here from Tennessee and is turning this into his Overland vehicle. So he says he's got some ideas off of me. He did a video on this thing and actually made a lot of improvements over what I've done. So I'm really glad to be able to see this and do a review of it. So I'm gonna let him show you around, but it's got some nice little features and made some good use of the space. Because for any of us that travel on our Cherokees, it's a little bit limited, even though it's an SUV. So.
Yeah, I'm 6 foot, 250 pounds, so I'm already limited. It is a small space for me. So one thing I did to combat that was put this bed platform on sliders so I can get in the vehicle from that door, put my feet down, get my shoes off, you know, get into bed. I am having a bit of a challenge with the mattress being so slippery, sliding this back, and then of course this comes up because this hatch will be closed in that situation, but I can bring this up, get my shoes and stuff off, and then put that down and go to sleep, hopefully. Joel, you've not seen this part, but if you want to come around here, and I just recently made this board here. Now they sell these, but they're over $100. So with scrap wood and some metal, I just, for instance, these are just hinges.
That's a good idea.
They're just hinges. I put it behind the trim. There's nothing screwed in here. This is thick enough where I could screw things in here. Set up, all my cutting tools are here, and I didn't have to worry about them being somewhere else. I did lose a drawer that was here before, but it set me up too high and I couldn't set up in bed, so I got rid of the drawer and just put that stuff here. And this is just a cooler stand. And then my wife was worried about my security, so I came up with this little hideaway here for my gun.
Nice with the shadow.
Yeah. So that stays put. And I sleep right here, so it's always next to me. Kitchen drawer that is offset by a battery here as an offset for weight, but this battery obviously also powers up some equipment I'll show you here. But I can monitor that by a little indicator here, battery charge. Oh, sticky. And this stays charged by a solar panel that's up on the roof. And then, you know, you saw all the stuff. We're getting ready to go camping, so I'm getting ready to load. But believe it or not, all that fits in there, and I still have a place to sleep. And
so at night, this all fits within the Jeep, and then your whole bed area is still open?
Yeah. Those two, I can put the table away, those two boxes. Of course, the firewood would stay out. The bed becomes, well, that stuff there becomes a bed. But the only thing I have to keep out is the cooler, but it's waterproof, so I don't worry about it. But everything else can come inside if I have to. And I do have a 10 by 10 pop-up over here that I can leave out and keep things protected. That's a fairly new addition. I made the crossbars here because the original Jeep crossbars are pretty weak. So that only supports my panel up here now, my solar panel.
Okay, so you got that.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
So that's the only thing that does is the original crossbars, and I made those, of course, for the extra weight.
I'm going to show the drop down in the back here.
Yeah.
From the roof. That I love.
That's gotten some comments, and you're in a good spot. So you have to, you know, maximize your space.
Look at that.
So
it's right up in the roof, and then he's got all the shadow organization.
And believe it or not, you would think, I'd like to say I was a smart man, had everything measured, but with those boxes here, it clears it. And with this here, I built, completely forgetting about this shelf, it clears it. But that was pure luck. So,
and you said those were like coffee table hinges, right?
Yep. Normally you'll see them where the coffee table will hinge up in a position where people can eat their meals and stuff from a couch. And I just inversed the idea so they come down. And then I took advantage of a common space or a hard point where the rear dome light used to be, so I could pin it up there.
That's great. I like that idea.
And now this is an idea I got from Joel because of the blacked out or whatever, and these bars. I need to get maybe a couple more, but
yeah, I've got 3 across mine to keep them from coming down, and then I've also put the straps. I'll show you on mine just to make it secured on the sides too.
I guess we can come around here, Joel, and show them my power station.
And speaking of which, you can see down here he utilizes USB fans, which are a great idea to try to keep cool and to have a power source for not a whole lot of power.
So yeah, I
for
have
fans.
from the solar panel, this cord runs down into the box where the battery is, and it's on a lead so that battery can slide back and forth. I've made an access here. My Harbor Freight multi tool, it's got an inverter, it's got some USB ports, it's got additional plugs and regular outlets here for my computer and stuff, and it sits in here as well, and I can keep it charged going down the road with my cigarette lighter. And then a box here that's just kind of open right now, which is a good thing. I'm not sure how I'm going to use it yet, but
And that's the shelf unit that he built.
My seats pulled all the way forward. I do have a long trip coming up, and I would take the seat out completely, but I do have to entertain my father for about a week, so I got to keep the seat in there. But with the organization that I found here online, I'm able to put all my charging equipment here, my camera, my laptop, my Road Atlas, my water sits here.
I
obviously.
like this idea better than what I have, actually.
But yeah, and then I still have room in here for my suitcase, for my clothes, so that's the plan there. And then I am going to carry some cleaning equipment that's going to go in this area here for my longer trip. But I found this Jeep, like I said, 6 months ago. It was rust free, and that's the reason I bought it, but it needed a lot of work. And I just had the air compressor changed because it was not working. That's the only thing that I farmed out to someone else. All the other work's been done by myself, which was important to me because I want to know how to work on this thing if I break down. So I wanted to do the work myself. And I use every tool that I carry with me, so I know if I break down the tools I need, I have.
And you keep your tools up top in the Plano box?
They're in the ammo box.
Oh, in the ammo,
side.
okay.
This box was given to me by my neighbor, and it's my recovery box. I have a jack, a stand, some wood in there for ramps, and I will carry extra parts too in that box. The original spare tire, it's not the same size as these, but my whole point in this trip is a 63-year-old man taking a 33-year-old Jeep out that's completely stock and hitting the trails. Now, we'll have to be careful. It's a stock Jeep with stock height road tires, so I'm not going to be, rock crawling or anything. But I want to take it out and, do some adventures on a budget, because I may get out there and decide I hate it. It's okay, I don't have a lot of money in the project, so I can move on and do something else.
Awesome. Thanks for showing us around.
Yeah.
It is a awesome shop, very cool Jeep. I love what you've done with it. I hope it works out, because put a lot of work into it, even though it's a budget vehicle. A lot of thought went into this, so. But great place, and if you want, check out Wyatt's channel. I'll leave a link at the end of the video and see what he's up to. But he tinkers around in the shop. He has how-to videos. He also has some videos on what he did to the Jeep. So thanks again, Wyatt.
Hey, thanks for coming by. I'm glad you came by. It's been nice meeting you.